minister passing through her church in the middle of the day decided to pause by the altar and see who had come to pray. Just then the back door opened. A man came down the aisle. The minister frowned as she saw the man hadn't shaved in a while. His shirt was kinda shabby and his coat was worn and frayed. The man sat, he bowed his head, then rose and walked away. In the days that followed each noontime came this chap. Each time he sat, just for a moment, a lunch pail in his lap. Well, the minister's suspicions grew, with robbery a main fear. She decided to stop the man and ask him,
"What are you doing here?"
The old man said he walked down the road. Lunch was half an hour. Lunchtime was his prayer time for finding faith, strength, and power.
I stay only moments, you see. The factory's so far away. As I stand before the Lord, this is kind of what I say. I just came again to tell you, Lord, how happy I have been since we found each other's friendship and you took away my sin. Don't know much of how to pray, but I think about you every day. So Jesus, this is Jim, just checking in.
The minister, feeling foolish, told Jim that was fine. She told the man he was welcome to come and pray any time.
Time to go.
Jim smiled and said,
Thanks.
As he hurried to the door. The minister stood at the altar. She'd never done that before. Her cold heart melted, warmed with love, met with Jesus there. As tears flowed down in her heart, she repeated old Jim's prayer.
I just came again to tell you, Lord, how happy I have been since we found each other's friendship and you took away my sin. Don't know much of how to pray, but I think about you every day. So Jesus, this is me, just checking in.
Past noon one day, the minister noticed that old Jim had not come. As more days passed with no sign of Jim, she began to worry some. At the factory, she asked about him, learning he was ill. The hospital staff was worried, but Jim had given them a thrill. The week that Jim was with them, He brought changes in the ward. His smiles were joys contagious. Changed people were his reward. The head nurse couldn't understand why Jim was so glad. With no flowers, calls, or cards came. Not a visitor he had. The minister stayed by Jim's bed. She voiced the nurse's concern. No friends came to show they cared. He had nowhere to turn. Looking surprised, old Jim spoke up with a winsome smile.
The nurse is wrong, she couldn't know that in here all the while, every day at noon, he's here, a dear friend of mine, you see. He sits right down, takes my hand, leans over and says to me,
I just came again to tell you, Jim, how happy I have been since we found this wonderful friendship and I took away your sin. I always love to hear you pray and I think about you every day. And so, Jim, this is Jesus checking in.